A new poll has normie Democrat Biden supporters flipping out and pointing fingers. So let me show you this tweet here. First, pay attention to the smaller ABC News one there. They say, new, among Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents who prefer Bernie Sanders for the nomination, 15% say they'd back President Trump over Joe Biden in the fall. And then Ben LaBolt said the following: this is a huge problem and something Bernie Sanders needs to work on every day from now until November. He is responsible for the outcome with this segment of voters, and his effort to persuade them to support Joe Biden should start today. Now, first thing I'll say is that 15% number is small. It's small. And especially historically speaking, it's small. When you compare it to other people in the same situation, it's tiny. So I'm going to come back to that and I'll show you the numbers to prove that point. But furthermore, look at this. I told you guys, no matter what happens, they're going to blame Bernie. If Biden wins, Bernie will get none of the credit. If Biden loses, Bernie will get all of the blame. And the same thing goes for the left in general. So you can't win. No matter what you do, you can't win. If he wins, you're irrelevant, and don't you dare ask for policy concessions or positions in the administration or certain ideas to be put forward. Shut up, not interested. We won despite you. If they lose, oh, we lost because of you. So funny how it works. It's always the fault of the left. Always. And this guy telling Bernie, like, come on, bro, you own this. I got news for you, Ben. Bernie Sanders is not a cult leader. See, he thinks Bernie is, because he's probably, chugged the Kool-Aid of mainstream media propaganda. But Bernie Sanders is not a cult leader. Not everybody is going to follow everything he says. In fact, I know a lot of people, myself included, who, honestly, I will not even be able to watch. If we get to the point where he's campaigning for Biden, and if Biden's the nominee, which is overwhelmingly likely, he will do that. But if he does that, I won't be able to watch it. Because I won't be able to take it. He's going to pick another centrist, although I don't like calling him centrist. Let's be more accurate. Neoliberal. He's going to pick another neoliberal VP in the same way that Hillary picked Tim Kaine. You know what that is? Nothing but a middle finger to the Democratic base. That's what that is. Take all of this energy that you have to try to convince people like me, you fall in line and vote. No. Go direct that energy towards Joe Biden and towards his campaign and say, bro, listen, you have to make concessions to them. You have to make concessions to them. You have to do it right now. Right now. So again, I wouldn't believe any policy concessions. Maybe some of you would. If Joe Biden came out and made it clear he's going to make, legalizing marijuana on day one a priority or something like that. If he could convince you on that front, okay, then by all means, go vote for him. But if I was one of these people who's so obsessed with the left and changing their mind, no, because it's not on us. Go tell Joe Biden, pick Bernie Sanders as Nina Turner for VP. All of this energy, save it and use it for that. Because that's the only way I'm going to cast that vote. So this idea that you could just, Bernie's people are a cult, I'm going to snap my fingers and you're going to fall in line. What are you talking about? We're free thinkers. There are a lot of people who support Bernie who aren't even registered Democrats. I'm a registered Democrat, but only because I live in New York and we have closed primaries. I've said many times, if we didn't have closed primaries, I'd be an independent. And I'd go vote in the Democratic primary. If we had open primaries, that's exactly what I would do. I'm only a registered Democrat because I have to be in New York to vote in primaries, which is my most important vote. So this idea that you could just tell Bernie Sanders people, hey, fall in line. Hey, Bernie, you own that. Bernie doesn't own that. Bernie is bringing people into the process who otherwise wouldn't have been brought into the process. That's not on Bernie. That's on Biden to try to reach out to those people and get those people in some way. And he's not going to be able to do it. Now, the final thing I want to show you is this. And I hinted at this early on, and now you're about to see it very clearly. So 15% of Bernie supporters would break for Trump. This is an old article. This is from Gallup. They did a poll. If it's McCain versus Obama, 28% of Clinton backers would go for McCain. 28%. Almost double Bernie's number. Almost double Bernie's number. Then it says if McCain versus Clinton, 19% of Obama backers go for McCain. So the former Obama supporters too. The former Obama supporters, if Clinton won the nomination in 2008, 19% of the Obama supporters would have went for McCain. So what does that show you guys? What does that show you? Bernie Sanders' number is low historically. That's the lowest one we have on record compared to the ones that I've seen and the ones I'm showing you here. So it's actually not the case that this is some sort of massive issue overall. But really, overall, you're talking about 85% of Bernie supporters who are going to support Joe Biden. And isn't it interesting? No matter what happens, we're not viewed as people who need to be wooed, people who need to have their concerns taken seriously and supported in order for us to give them support. We're not viewed as that. We're viewed as petulant children who need to shut up and fall in line, and we're going to blame you either way. Like I said, if Biden wins, the left will get none of the credit. If Biden loses, the left will get all the blame. You know those finicky so-called centrists, those so-called swing voters? Those are the ones who oh my God, the swing voters, if we don't earn their vote, obviously we did something wrong and we need to reevaluate. How do we get the swing voters? They never look at the left like that, which is interesting because the Republicans always cater to their base. That's the number one rule of politics, and the Republicans never violate it, which is why Donald Trump has a massively high approval rating with his base. Because they realize, red meat to the base all the time. Got to shore up your base in politics. The Republican political brand is built on shoring up their base, getting their base to love them and support them. Democratic leadership, they do the exact opposite. Their whole identity is built on spitting in the eye of the base. This is why you hear Republican talking points during the Democratic debates nonstop. How are we going to pay for Medicare for all? How are we going to pay for that? I don't even know if we can afford that. Like, this is the kind of stuff they say in the Democratic primary. And then they're surprised when you do have the base of the Democratic Party feeling disillusioned. When you have actual lefties saying, you know what, I can't deal with it, I got to check out. So, what I would say to them, everybody yelling at Bernie Sanders, listen, Bernie Sanders, I have zero doubt. He's going to do exactly what these people want him to do. He's going to go campaign for Biden. He's going to campaign probably harder for Biden than Biden will campaign for Biden, in the same way that Bernie was going to states that Hillary didn't step foot in. He's going to do all that stuff. And instead of going after Bernie, these well-meaning neoliberals should really be going after Biden to yell at him to say, bro, you got to do something to try to get the base to have your back. You got to make concessions, whether it's policy, whether it's VP pick, whether it's cabinet picks, whether it's a campaign, putting one of their issues front and center, promising and convincing them that you'll fight for it. You got to do something on that front. But notice, they're not doing any of that. They're not going after Biden. They're not asking him to make concessions. They're not treating the left like people to be wooed. It's all shaming and insulting and hating on and blaming and scapegoating. And that's not going to stop.